So literally, I was coming back from a holiday last April, and it was my first day back at Northern Performance, which I also co-own with John Watson. And John took me aside and said, "I need to talk to you." And I said, "Okay, sure." And he said, we're looking at buying the building next door, which at the time was an automotive shop.
Right.
And he said, we need to put a business in it, and this is what we're thinking we want to do, and we want you to be part of it as well.
Right.
And he said, in John's famous words, he always asked me to sleep on something. So he told me, you go home and sleep on it, and then we'll decide what we're going to do.
You're listening to the Behind the Village podcast. Our guest today is Keddy from Mariposa Millwork.
So we're here at Mariposa Millwork, which is a new business that just opened up recently.
Yeah, new trim and door shop in
Nice.
Orillia. Yeah.
Cool. And who am I talking to? Who are we talking to today?
Well, I'm Keddy. I'm one of the co-owners. There's three of us, John Watson and Mitch Barsovich, have created this beautiful showroom, and we want to sell doors and trim and moldings to the Orillia customers.
Nice.
Cool. That was one of my questions is what is millwork?
True.
So millwork is a term that's used in a wide variety of places. A lot of times it's somebody that's making cabinets and doing millwork with their hands and have machinery. It also means that you're a supplier to the industry of the items that are produced by those people. So whether it be moldings, interior doors, that kind of stuff. So it kind of encompasses a wide range of products.
Cool. So do you do some of the work here?
We buy and sell everything. So we're not
Yeah.
manufacturing
Okay.
anything here. So it's all a retail operation where we can source pretty much anything in the customer will be looking for with regards to moldings, plywoods, doors, hardware,
Very cool.
those kind of items.
And why did it, why did it get started?
Good question. So literally, I was coming back from a holiday last April, and it was my first day back at Northern Performance, which I also co-own with John Watson. And John took me aside and said, "I need to talk to you." And I said, "Okay, sure." And he said, we're looking at buying the building next door, which at the time was an automotive shop.
Right.
And he said, we need to put a business in it, and this is what we're thinking we want to do, and we want you to be part of it as well.
Right.
He said, in John's famous words, he always asked me to sleep on something. So he told me, you go home and sleep on it, and then we'll decide what we're going to do. And the moldings and doors was just a natural fit to bring in next door to the window shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems like they fit well together because windows and doors obviously then come with the finish.
Correct.
Trims.
The trims go around the windows, and actually we can offer now a wider selection of trim for windows next door, having all the products right here.
Yeah.
So it worked quite well.
Yeah.
So it's like a next step, like evolution of like the business as a whole, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So we decided on the millwork shop. That was a year ago, April, and by September they had the building closed, and we started renovating and tearing things apart and deciding on business names and all that kind of stuff. All just evolved from there over the summer last year.
Yeah. So why did you decide on the name Mariposa Millwork?
Well, there are a lot of Mariposa companies.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. And I had a nice ring with the we thought, the Mariposa and the millwork. We did put it out to our marketing team, and it was one of their favorite names that they had come up with, and they came up with some designs and all the stuff for the marketing as well. So it was a tough choice. We had a couple others that were really right beside it, but in the end, we chose the Mariposa name. We did ask permission as well because there's a Mariposa right next door on the other side of us with the Mariposa landscaping.
Right.
So we did ask them, and they were totally fine. They actually liked the idea.
That's cool. So you're kind of sandwiched, which is nice.
Yeah.
With Northern Performance in the middle and some Mariposas on either side.
Mariposas on either side, yeah. So yeah, that worked out quite well.
Yeah. What I'm excited about is this is the first time we've been in the space, and it's such a beautiful showroom. So I really like that aspect of it to be able, the first thing I did was, can I open one of these doors? And just and it was nice to actually be able to interact when we were talking about it, is be able to actually feel and see and touch. And
interesting you say that, because that's one of the things that we really wanted to concentrate on, was having an interactive showroom, and there's none in Orillia right now. So that just concentrate on doors and moldings.
Yeah.
So a lot of customers are driving the Barrie for that experience.
Yeah.
Right.
And we wanted to be able to offer a wide selection and have them touch and feel. And so far, I mean, we're in our short 3-month span right now, but customers are really appreciating the showroom.
it makes a difference, I feel like. And that was something we were chatting about earlier as well, is it's hard sometimes to just picture it at how it's going to look when it's done. So being able to come into the space and actually see, okay, I can see how it's going to look up on the wall, or I can see how this is going to fit
Yeah.
with the style of door and
And I really like the what you have in the we can't quite see it right here, but like you can see the trim with like around where the door is going to have as well, the trim around the door.
Correct. Yeah.
So you can kind of visualize both together, right? It's not just like, oh, this looks nice, right? But like with the crown molding on top of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So we paired all the casings with the baseboards in the examples, and that way, and we also have samples cut in the nice island in the middle there that customers can take a piece home with them,
That's
and make sure it's something that they're going to want in their home, that they're going to live with for a long time.
I like that too, because that's nice.
Yeah, you
Yep,
can actually
bring it
go
home.
back, bring it home and just put it against
Put it
that.
against the wall, and do I really like this?
Yeah.
And we've already had a couple customers come in that built new homes, and they've come in a couple times and tried different samples and taken it back. So the first one they chose wasn't something they actually liked.
There you go.
And then they came back and took another sample, and it worked out, and they purchased the product. So
There you
That's
go.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about your how did you end up working, with Northern Performance or with crown moldings or with trim? Like, how did that happen?
So, yeah, another good story. So John Watson, who's my business partner at Northern, we've been together probably going on 12, 13 years now from previous businesses where we've worked together. And he approached me 3 years ago to buy Northern Performance windows and doors. And that worked out very well. And then when he got the building here and said, let's open up a trim and door shop, it was a natural fit for me, because when I moved to Ontario in 1990, I worked for this company that now supplies us, which is Mitri. And my first job in Ontario 35 years ago was a rep for moldings and doors.
That's
Oh.
So
full circle.
it's a full
That's
circle.
really cool.
So now they're my main supplier. It's a really good partnership. Even the vice president of Canada for sales for Mitri was my old manager.
Wow,
So I have long connections at that
that's
business.
very cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
And many years of knowledge in selling the product. So now I get to sell it directly to the homeowner.
Yeah. Where did you come from before Ontario?
Originally, I'm from Nova Scotia.
Okay, so you're out east. Yep.
Yep. So I was young in my 20s and jumped on a train and came to Toronto, and
Really?
and that was my first job. Back then it was called Solder, and now they're called Mitri.
Huh.
So they've progressed through some names over the last 35 years,
Cool.
and they're one of the largest suppliers in Canada for moldings.
Why'd you come to Ontario?
No, just to get away from Nova Scotia and the laid back lifestyle, looking for start with action and start my own life. Yeah. So yeah, I planted my roots here in 1990, and yeah, I've traveled all over the province as a rep. I've done pretty much everywhere except for the extreme north. I've lived in Ottawa, London, Mississauga, Barrie, and then been in this region for the last 15 years. So the building process was quite interesting, because this was a mechanic shop. So you can imagine how dirty and filthy and oily
Oh, right.
that it was. So definitely kudos to my partners, John and Mitch. They had the vision to build this beautiful showroom. I couldn't have done it at all. And my background is sales, so that's why I'm here as the front runner for the selling part of as we opened. But it was their vision that made this showroom come together and clean it, get it all cleaned up. The back was, there were 5 car lifts out there and
Yeah.
oil pits, and so it had to be completely cleaned,
Wow.
completely painted. It was a long process from September till March when we opened.
It sounds like a long process, but in the grand scheme of renovations and building, and that's a very short window to just pull everything together in order to be able to launch
Yeah, yeah.
spring.
And we're a brand new company with, starting with ground zero for sales. So it's, every month we're going to get better and stronger and sell more, and hopefully become a focal point in the town of Orillia.
Yeah. That's exciting though, because I feel like that's also just part of, and you have that business experience and experience with your partners, and but starting from zero, it's always really, really terrifying, to jump in, and there's, the nerves.
It is, yeah, and a lot of money spent.
And a lot of money, and there's a lot riding on it, and
Yeah.
but it's nice to be able to.
the
There's a trust, I guess.
there's a huge trust, and each one of us brings a different aspect to the business, which is really cool. So, John's organizational skills and Mitch's construction skills and my sales skills, it all brings almost the perfect trio together.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
And that's something that I think a lot of businesses, when, thinking about it from the small business perspective, you're starting up a new company, you usually have to wear all the hats together, right?
Yeah.
So I think the fact that you guys have each other to support and kind of come up with, the different aspects that you guys do is
Yep.
actually fairly, uh, is just great, right?
Yeah.
The ability that you can support each other
Yep.
and in things that you may not necessarily be the best at, right?
Yeah, and you know what? We're gonna make mistakes along the way, and we know that. And it's just how do we react to the mistake and make sure at the end the customer isn't
Yeah.
disappointed or upset, and
Yeah.
take care of the customer first.
Yeah,
So
I think that's the key as well, is knowing that there will be mistakes and we'll have to adjust somewhere or things you'll learn. And it's just being open to that and hoping that, it's just life.
Yep.
That people understand that and realize
Yeah.
it too. So,
yeah,
you know,
for sure. And we're also bringing in new. We didn't really even know what we should carry to begin with, right? So we were purchasing these, what I would call a large amount of inventory that we really don't even know if someone's going to buy or not. So, we had Mitri behind us saying, this is what most of our best runners. So you should have these in stock and this much of this and this much of that. And that worked out good. But now we're still every week I'm bringing in, this week I brought in 6 new products for inventory. So just because every time someone comes in the door, they're looking for something different and they want to be able to have it at their fingertips.
Yeah.
So every time someone comes in and looks for something, I bring it in inventory.
yeah, which is cool. And I think that's a neat way to grow as well in terms of, the Mitri mentioned their best sellers, but the area maybe is slightly different, or there's certain things people potentially prefer here. I don't know, compared to the larger centers. I don't know if that's true or not.
No, absolutely, it's true. Yeah, every region's different.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, there's some main new items that are the hot ones right now, and shaker doors, for example, like that door there with the shaker profile is very popular. People like that look, and there's a trim that goes with it, and that's why we tried to match the trim to the door. All the vignettes are showing something different as far as what goes on them, and as well the hardware. So we have our Slage display here with all the interior door hardwares, and we put different hardware on all the vignettes. So we have a wide selection for people to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can get the entirety of your needs, right, for the door. It's really neat because that's also something that I don't look at very often, but it's also like, and it's not just how the door looks or how, but everything that goes around with it. So the fact that you can come here and get it all in one place.
All in one place.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
So from a perspective of, you're someone that has, successfully created a business or bought a business and now you're creating a new one. For people that are in that same process or that are looking to start a new business or that are looking, is there anything that you would advise for them or something that you have learned through your experience as to why, how they can help them, for example?
That's a tougher question, but with owning the business next door and already being an established business for over 30 years, John and I, although we didn't own one in the past, we learned a lot there as to running the business. So that was one experience, but then to open a brand new one, it was literally meeting after meeting after meeting, coming up with ideas. And you got to plan the name, you got to register the name, and all those things have to happen before you even tear a piece of drywall off the wall to start renovating. And it's literally just have a vision. Hopefully something that isn't too many businesses in town the same, which this is one that isn't overpopulated. So, and then building if you build it, they will come is one of our favorite lines.
It's true though, because especially in Orillia, I feel like as fast as it's growing, my family's been in the area a long time, so I remember it when it was way less developed as it is now. But the idea of bringing things to the area, and that's true, I think, for a lot of local businesses, that some of them just become so immersed in the community because we wanted it, but we didn't know we wanted it.
Yeah. And another big piece of the puzzle now too, and then I've been taught this more since I've been an owner, is how different marketing is today and how you get your name out there. I mean, we at Northern, we had a company look after our marketing, and now we brought on our own marketing person. And we really try to amp our social media.
Yeah.
So we've been doing lots of videos for here, and we're gonna have a contest for here for Father's Day. So just try to get our name out and have everybody know that we're here.
Yeah.
Another contest we ran on Instagram was the branding of our trucks. So we sent out a couple of formats of how the truck would look with the wrap with our branding. We let the customers decide which one they wanted.
Oh,
That's
cool.
cool.
That was
Okay.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
So,
I haven't seen it, so maybe that's something I'll want.
well, it's not done yet. It's going,
Oh,
it's going to the shop next week. So we'll that'll be to be seen soon.
Nice. Are you gonna have like an unveiling of it?
I think we're going to park it out front so everybody can see it when they
There you
drive by.
You chose this.
Yeah, this is the winner.
That's pretty cool.
But no, yes, we did do an unveiling on Instagram that this was the winner with
Yeah.
some cool fireworks
Awesome,
and stuff.
awesome.
So that was fun.
So where can people go and find, more about the contest or more about your product and what you do?
So yes, we're on both Facebook and Instagram at Mariposa Millwork, and we are also our website is mariposamillwork.ca. So
Awesome. Yeah. I'm excited to go and check the truck when it comes out.
check the
Yeah.
truck, and there's lots of cool videos on Instagram, doors and moldings and different ideas for your home.
And where's your location? We're here for
We're at 17 James Street West, Unit 1.
nice.
Very exciting.
Yep.
And I believe we were chatting before as well. You have a grand opening planned this summer.
Yes, stay posted for that. Watch Instagram and Facebook again, but we will be doing something in July for a grand opening.
Very exciting.
Plan to have the mayor here and some special dignitaries as well.
Ooh,
Maybe some food.
maybe that's how you're gonna get people in. Bring in food. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. for
Thank you
joining
very
us.
much.
Yeah. It was
Yeah, it was awesome.
Nice
Great.
to meet
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the entire episode. All the links and info you heard in this conversation will be featured in the show notes on our website, villagermagazine.ca/podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing to our channels like YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you're listening from so you never miss an episode. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.